All right. Look at that butt. Oh, she's so ready. She's so ready. Oh. Right, monkey butt? Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome. It's a makeup show after dark on a Saturday. I got myself some America on. America! Yeah, sorry I didn't do a show yesterday. Just didn't have time. By the time I got home, it was really late, and I just didn't have it in me to do it. But, you know, we'll do it on Saturday. Why not? We'll see how long it lasts. I mowed the lawn again. This time I picked up all the bits of grass that had to be jettisoned out, let it dry, and picked it all up. The lawn's looking amazing. Got the bounce house coming Monday night. Cleaned out a bunch more blackberries. I've almost 2 entire sides of the property cleared of blackberries. Can't get better than that. And they've wounded me. And this Band-Aid is going to rip off all of my arm hair. I'm going to have a rectangle bald spot on my arm. So, top news. Elon broke Twitter. It is busted. I have not gotten the you break your limit, you cannot request limit or whatever. But I cannot send tweets. I cannot send DMs. I can retweet for some reason, but I cannot make my own tweet and send it out. And I cannot reply to a DM. So anybody who DM'd me today after about 7 p.m. Pacific time, oh well. I am on Blue Sky, the Houston Wade, Blue Sky, blah, blah, blah. So find me on there if you are on there. I should receive at least 2 codes by the time next Charity Tuesday happens. So I am going to raffle off. I'm going to raffle off 2 Blue Sky codes. Hopefully I got 2. If not, I'll have at least 1. And that will be the prize for our Charity Tuesday this July. So, woo! Right, monkey? Woo! Right, everybody? Woo! Okay. Oh, I almost forgot. It's off. Okay. I don't know if I have anything to talk about other than Elon totally flubbed up his app. I mean, seriously, dude, $44 billion to just break it. 2 weeks ago, Fidelity came out with their assessment saying Twitter is worth about $6.45 billion, which means he's lost around $37 to $38 billion so far on his investment in 6 months. I bet it's going to be worth significantly less than that on Monday. The 3 leading theories, I've put them in the description there, but 3 leading theories for why Twitter doesn't work. And number 1 is they didn't pay Google for their hosting fees, and Google's like, well, got to throttle you now and kick your shit off our servers. 2, which their contract apparently ended on the 30th, and Elon hasn't paid them in 6 months. 2 is that they deleted something, and the website keeps trying to do calls to get information about 20 times a second, and he's DDoSing, denial of service attacking himself. Oops. Or 3, it's all ploy to get people to pay for Twitter Blue, which no one's going to do. They're just going to go to Blue Sky and Mastodon and Post and Spoutable and all the other platforms and go do things there because they're free. So that's where we are. Saturday. I've had a lot of sun today. Never enough water. I've been slurping pink lemonade. Oh, I love pink lemonade. Pink lemonade. Iggy disagreed with me. Pink lemonade is the best summer drink. Okay. Iggy Greenheart. Tom Zerlatka. Should a perfect game be a team stat or a player stat? Also, there should be 25 perfect games. Yeah, today is the anniversary of Galarraga getting his perfect game stolen by a blind umpire. on the last out of the game. And it's probably a large reason why there's review now. Like you can take the footage, send it to an ump, and they're going to look at the footage and figure it out, because he should have a perfect game. Like, Major League Baseball needs to overrule that and go, no, Galloway got a perfect game. I mean, it's the peak performance of anyone's life. I never came close. No, I throw slow balls. They go into play, and I'd never come close to throwing a perfect game. And I'm a knuckleballer, so I walk at least 5 dudes a game minimum. But yeah, should be a team stat. I would say that certain pitchers are more likely at perfect games and no hitters, and that if it were a team stat, you would have teams that have perfect games more often. You know what I mean? It's really the pitcher and catcher. It's that battery that are calling pitches. The pitches are biting, doing what they're hitting their spots, and they're either striking guys out or elucidating them into a double play or ground balls. Monkey, you gotta help me here, Monkey. I'm trying to figure out. And you're my thesaurus. She's like, leave me alone. I'm sleeping. Leave me alone. She had a long day. She sat in the sunshine, and then she sat in the shade, and then she sat in the sunshine, and then she sat in the shade. And then, for some reason, she kept taking the chunks of blackberries from me and chewing on them, which can't be good for anybody, but she insisted on doing it, so, Scott Lumley, second. Hey, Houston, still having issues setting up an options account. I'm hoping I might be able to buy some Tuesday. Prices are creeping up a bit. Still seeing chances to buy options at low prices. Scott, you still haven't told me what broker. Oh, it's Canadian broker through TD Bank. Ah, okay. Yes. Okay, there's two comments down. Ah, TD Bank in Canada. Someone else said in Canada they could get them. And through their bank. So Canadians are all going to become cajillionaires at our expense because American brokers won't let us waste our money. And Rule like Houston, driving back east tomorrow from the Midwest. What's on your road trip playlist? I very much random music generator. I have, 30 or 40,000 songs that I've illegally downloaded that I've got an SD card. Pop that sucker into the carputer and hit random and just go. If that's not available, I Bluetooth my phone, put on Pandora. Oftentimes I will just hit it on Run the Jewels radio and go. That's simple. Just I want something just pulsating and pounding as I go. Confusing. I just read a sketchy Reddit post with an article that said that Gary Gensler is stepping down. Could this be true? Has anyone else heard this? It's popping up via the sketchy internet article from crypto coin reports or whatever, and other ones that were saying that Gary was under investigation, all this crap. He may be resigning, but I'm not seeing it on any other news feeds. Let's see here. No news. There's SEC's Gary Gensler faces resignation after Citadel's accusations from, I don't know who that is. Is it even a news service? That's from Tron Weekly Crypto World News. So, yeah. You're not anything. And then another Crypto World News, SEC chair caught Citadel market manipulation scandal. But none of this is from actual news sources that I think are trustworthy. So, this article is going back to November, claiming that he's resigned, and they're all from bogus crypto news pages. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything legit popping up at all. Citizen 54, the Supreme Court now rolling back your rights on made-up cases with made-up evidence. The coup goes on. Yeah, there's a lady. Is it Colorado where she was from? She claimed that a gay couple asked her to do graphic design, make a website and invitations and things for their gay wedding. And she's like, no, I'm a Christian. I don't do that. And then she sued the government for the right to deny these folks her business. And it turns out that the men she claimed called her to do all this work were already married, had never heard of her, and never requested any such things be made. So technically she had no standing. And the Supreme Court ruled on it anyway. But the thing is, they did that with the student loan case too, is that the lawsuit was brought by the state of Missouri on behalf of Mohela, the student loan servicer, which is based in Missouri. And Mohela was like, what are you doing? We don't care. And Missouri's like, no, you do care. And they're like, no, we don't. So technically, the state of Missouri had no standing, and the Supreme Court ruled on that anyway. It goes back to our neighbors over in Bremerton, just like across the water from Bainbridge. They had a football coach, assistant football coach, who would make all the players come down the field and pray. And I said, you don't have to come down the field and play. But it turns out if you didn't come down the field and pray, you didn't play. You sat on the bench. And so the school's like, dude, get out of here. They told him stop doing that. And he was like, no, it's my right. And they fired him. So he sued the school district for firing him. And then the Supreme Court ruled in his favor, citing evidence that never existed. So like and I think it's Gorsuch wrote the opinion. He's like, and then this thing happened and this thing happened. And none of those things had ever happened at all. But it made Mr. Guy who was forcing players to pray to Jesus before they were allowed to play football win the case. So it's pretty incompetent majority, if you ask me, in the Supreme Court at the moment. Allowing cases to continue that don't have standing and falsifying evidence themselves to justify their own rulings is crazy. But that's our reality. So, yay. Sigh. Jiminius, Houston. I believe you mentioned that DeSantis caused insurance laws to expire in Florida, which caused insurance rates to spike. What law did he let expire? There were, I don't know the specific ones off the top of my head. There was a law about basically capping rates and guaranteeing the availability of insurance, like guaranteeing the competition. Let's see if we can find. Oh, I know. Okay. There it is. So Ron DeSantis took $3.9 million from insurance lobbyists. Lavish with favors, benefits, whatever Floridian suffers. Okay, let's see if it gets to the American. Report pinpoints the insurance industry as a crucial underwriter of DeSantis' meteoric rise, the governor's mansion, and potential White House hopeful. DeSantis ran a successful election campaign. Okay, authors. Here. I can get to it. Bam. 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 And, oh, Google Earth's in the way. Here we go. Okay. It's from The Guardian. Authors analysis campaign advanced data found 2 property casualty insurance companies for insurance donated combined $125 to DeSantis. What's market begins final term? No coincidence reports. Author says the DeSantis administration has put the insurance company's interest ahead of Florida's own citizens who are battling homeowners insurance rates nearly triple the national average. Instead of fixing problems with Florida's property insurance industry, DeSantis has lavished the industry with favors and benefits while everyday Floridians suffer. These benefits have included creation of a $2 billion taxpayer-funded reinsurance fund. Such funds exist to insure the insurers and prevent them from being wiped out during a catastrophic event. Usually the insurance companies buy such coverage on the open market, but in Florida, DeSantis chose to use tax dollars to provide access to state-subsidized insurance fund. Second, Florida legislature passed a bill that stripped policyholders of the ability to recover legal fees when suing insurance companies and refused to honor legitimate claims. DeSantis trumpeted the signing of his bill on his official webpage. Home insurance hot button issue in Florida. So basically, I think that what DeSantis did is he took the what's the word I'm looking for? Monkey Erythrosaurus. It's 10 o'clock at night and my brain is completely dehydrated. Safeguards? No. Restrictions? There we go. I think my restrictions might be the word I'm looking for. Off of premiums for insurance rates, and insurance is just going crazy. Like this lady here, Tracy Ann Brown, $1,800 a month for homeowners insurance. That's a mortgage. Like, you're paying a second mortgage. You might as well buy two homes. One further away that's not going to hit with a hurricane, so you have one to live in. Yeah. Report argues that the Florida Office of Insurance Regulation is dominated by industry insiders who approved insurance price hikes at greater rates than were seen under previous governors. Evidence is mounting that big insurance has blocked proposals that would have lowered costs for consumers. It continues. A 2022 proposal by State Senator Jeff Brandes claimed to reduce insurance and save Floridians $750 million to $1 billion a year by allowing smaller insurance companies to access to the catastrophic reinsurance fund. The insurance-heavy business lobby reportedly blocked the plan. Basically, they're keeping competition out, letting the big boys happen, and then the big boys don't pay for their own reinsurance. So that seems to be what DeSantis is doing. Well, you know, industry insiders get their thing. Jason Blackwell, Houston. Who was the last person to have sex with Marilyn Monroe? Theodore Curfey. Curfey. Look it up. Okay. She drove her to overdose. That's what we can take from that. Jimenez, what I was referring to last stream was Philip of Macedonia's message to Sparta. If I invade Laconia, you will be destroyed, never to rise again. To which they replied, if, allegedly. Ah. Yeah. The mythos of the Spartans. Oh, sure. Come on down. Whatever. We just held off the entire Persian Empire for a while. Nil 21981 Houston. People are saying that now we can ask for the blue sheets, since apparently the reason they would not provide them before was that we didn't have any evidence of wrongdoing. Yeah, Syntax and who's the other guy? They went through all of the legal filings and the laws surrounding, was it Rule 210 or whatever, that allows market makers to put something up on the OTC and start trading it, and that, you know, if you don't have permission of the issuers, you can do this, and if you know you don't have the certain legalese, you do this thing, and they like failed in all of them. So yeah, we have proof of wrongdoing. They fucked up. Plus, Concord Genuity, the stupidest name, Concord Genuity. Just that's like the guys that name the prescription drugs, name your market maker. But they are now under investigation for spoofing, naked short selling, and manipulating the market. And it looks like criminal investigation is what they're under. So that's one step from GTS, and it's probably specifically surrounding MMTLP. It will be my guess, because we have been bugging the shit out of the SEC, FINRA, and the FBI for them to do something. And you know what? They're probably doing something because they want us off their backs. So, good job. Good job, everyone. We now just need to get them to go after GTS and Citadel, and they got Sabby. Sabby was one of the guys manipulating MMTLP and another stock I can't talk about. So, good job, everyone. Steve, we think about Bank of America's future after posting a $100 billion loss. Bank of America has been a dead man walking for a while. They failed the stress tests, all three of them. And yeah, I mean, the big banks in general have lost hundreds of billions of dollars in depositors. Now, some of that is from crypto bros being like, I'm leaving the banks forever, yo, and taking their money out. The other is people's savings dwindling and them not having any money to put in there. And then there's the people who just like would stick it in their mattress and just leave. So they're getting like a triple threat from all sides on this one. And I do think still like Wells Fargo and Bank of America are the two most precarious big banks in the U.S. right now. Dr. Evil, what's your thoughts on Cornel West running for president? I love Cornel West. I don't think he stands a chance in hell. And my feeling is that if you are in essentially we're a two-party system. We've got a first past the post election style for presidency, which means you can split the vote a bunch of different ways and somebody who gets 30% of the vote can win the election. I don't like that. I think you should have to get 50% plus one to be president. And that if you want to change, you're going to have to pick one party to run for. Because otherwise, all you're going to do is allow like your worst choice to win. You're going to split that vote. So, I mean, pat on the back for Cornel West, but run as a Democrat, bud. Michael Hero, Houston, what is going on in Paris, France? Well, Paris isn't where it's bad. It's in, I think, is it Marseille or Nice? Nice, I think. Police shot a young Algerian kid, claimed he was attacking them, and then video footage came out that they just executed the kid, and now everything is melting down. People are sawing open ATMs and burning tire fires and basically just kicking the shit out of the police. And the police had told the government, they're like, you know what? We're just going to load our weapons and start shooting these people. Which means Macron may have to call on the military to fight the police on behalf of the people. But Macron is kind of a neoliberal douche nozzle. So I don't know what's going to happen, but his popularity is definitely slipping. It's amazing. Like, I don't think a French president has left office with higher than like a 5% approval rating since, I don't know, probably Charles de Gaulle or something. But yeah, basically they're having their 2020, the BLM protests. It's a lot of ethnic Algerians and minority people who are like, this is fucked up. Enough's enough. And, you know, who can blame them? I mean, it happens here in America, and we every once in a while go, enough's enough, and we enrage. But it's been a little calm for the past couple of years. But France is having their moment, and they love to throw a good riot. They're better at it than probably anybody in the world. So, you know, this time it's a little more violent than usual. Belgian Whale, 7 a.m. due to the computer system updates. I have nothing to do at my 12-hour shift today at work. I'm in my car listening to you. Amuse me. Pen name. Hedge funds are grateful that federal judges only have to cheat one person, Rosa, instead of a class action of 64,000 people. Much easier to hide a crime. Problem with class action is that you're probably looking at 10 years before you even get like a serious settlement offer. And that's the issue, is that and that you're suing for damages of the class action. And we're not allowed to sue FINRA for damages. So I'm not sure. I don't honestly know how a class action work. Maybe if we just collectively sue all the brokerages, but even then, you're looking at a decade before it reaches trial. It's just going to take forever. I do think the fastest way is keep bugging regulators and elected officials and law enforcement. Just bug them. Because eventually they're going to have to task people to do that because we won't shut up and we'll leave him alone. If we're like, fine, Johnson, go investigate this thing. And then Johnson now has investigatory powers and he can start combing through everything. So, I don't know. Class actions take forever. Have you guys ever been part of a class action? It takes forever. Absolutely forever. So, see where it goes. I mean, we can set one up also. And then, the lawyers get half of what comes out and we get nothing. And yeah. Matt Johnson, I'm here for Hot Boys and Girls. I'm so lonely. They haven't appeared for months. I haven't seen Hot Boys and Girls in so long. Did they die? Are you all, Hot Boys and Girls? Are you all right? Do we need to send somebody to check on you? Do you need a welfare check? Because we haven't seen you in a long time. You sure turn your mic after update? Yeah, I forgot to turn on my mic after the update, but it worked this time. So, hey, things are looking up. Happy Canada Day, hosers. Oh, it is Canada Day, right, Monkey? It's Canadian Independence. Aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? Huh? She does have Canadian in her lineage because how Catahoula's got made was the Brits kicked out the French Canadians out of Nova Scotia. They're like, get out of here, hosers. And they're like, oh, sacre bleu. And they hopped on the boats. And they end up in Louisiana, in the bayou in Louisiana, where the Cajuns come from. And they had sighthounds, greyhounds, were their hunting dogs. And they mated the greyhounds with the domesticated red wolves that the natives had and produced the Catahoula leopard dog. They got webbed toes. So they can run through the bog and chase them wild boar. So, Monkey, are you celebrating your exodus from Canada? Huh? Are you? You and your ancestors got kicked out of Canada for being French frogs? Huh? This is terrible. I was never supposed to be out of Canada. Pen name, class action, can't use Rose's method. Not money. Yeah, I don't know how... how are we going to get a lawyer to agree to a class action that's got no payment at the end? That's the problem. And that if you're doing a class action, you're probably looking at, I don't know, between $1 and $10 million to fund that class action. That's why I think no one's doing it, is that the money isn't there for us to pay the lawyer, and the lawyer's not going to do it on contingency because there's no payday at the end. So, that's why I got my fingers crossed for Rosa. And hopefully this judge actually reads her filings this time. Otherwise, she's got to go to appellate court and hope one of those judges reads it. Which goes, nice shirt. Merca. I got a whole bunch of Merca shirts. I got a great Merca shirt for 4th of July this year that Michael Mystery sent. I got my normal fireworks shirt. I'll wear on the 3rd of July. 3rd of July is also the Old Timers charity baseball game. I'm going to see if I can set up a live stream with my phone, and you guys can watch the baseball. You can watch me strike out 4 times probably for the baseball game. Yeah, so I'll see if I can set that up. And I might set up cameras, and you guys can watch the 4th of July awesome barbecue at my house with the bounce house and everything. Got to figure out, maybe I'll unbolt one of these cameras and stick it down there. But yeah, so, if you're completely lame on the 4th of July, and you're not enjoying yourself somewhere, you can watch people enjoy themselves in my house. Rosa can't be our pro bono lawyer. I don't think Rosa can afford to be the pro bono lawyer. Like I said, it's not just like someone to represent you. It's that to go through the documents you're going to need to request during discovery is going to be millions of dollars. And, you're going to say, hey, I need all the trades from this point to this point. And they're going to send you cardboard boxes, 10,000 cardboard boxes with 50,000 sheets of paper in each one. And you got to go through those all. which means not just a lawyer, but a team of lawyers. Not just a team of lawyers, but a team of paralegals. Not just a team of paralegals, but a whole bunch of like forensic accountants. And it is really, really, really brutal and very expensive. Big law firms that know that there's a settlement on the way, they'll do it on contingency because they know that like they'll get a $1 billion settlement and they'll pull $300 million from it. But it is just brutal, absolutely brutal. And if we don't come up with $10 million to fund the thing, even if she's doing it pro bono, they're still gonna have to like pay the whole team of lawyers and everyone else were experts and witnesses and all sorts of things that they're gonna have to do hearings and filings, and it's asking a lot. And I don't think any lawyer is going to sign up for it without just getting a huge check. If McCabe wrote like a $10 million check as retainer to some law firm to do it, so okay, here's a check. We're going to go class action. All these investors are in. Cool. But without some whale funding it, I think we're kind of up shit creek without a paddle. Tristan Cates, how high do we think Finger will go? I have just been reading what I get sent from Ham Short Killer, and he's thinking it's going to be like a top squeeze and go to like 250 or something, but it has to have enough FOMO to break like $5.40 to really put the shorts underwater. So, there's pushes for it. It hit 4 something the other day. We're just kind of waiting to see, when's the price going to spike, and it has regular spikes. If we look at the, let's pull it up here. FNGR. We go 5-year. So we have spikes. We had a spike in February 2021, $16. We had another spike around November 2021. We had a big spike happen last fall, and we're in the middle of a little spike right now. So here was $7.38. We had a whole bunch of people that shorted at like 536, I think. And so the price needs to get above that 536. And it's a huge amount. It's like 100 and something % of the entire float. So if the price does get pushed up there, whether through gamma or just straight FOMO, then yeah, you can get yourself a big spike. But will it be more than that $16? Honestly don't know. Not a clue. We'll just kind of, I got 10 options. See if it happens. But go check out Ham Short Killer's Twitter feed if you can, if you're allowed to. I don't know. Stupid. Goddamn, Elon's so stupid. Do you guys remember 2 years ago me doing this show and being like, Elon is an idiot? And some people being like, no, he's a genius. They'd be like, no, he's not. He's a rich boy who's kind of a moron. And now some people have come over and been like, you know what? 2 years ago, when you said Elon was an idiot, you're absolutely right. He's stupid. He's just so dumb. I can crystal ball that one all day long. Oh, Elon's dumb as dirt. He's just a rich guy who's been totally special his entire life. And that's his treasure right there. The dude's failed upwards his entire life. He created a company. It was during the dot-com bubble. And if you created a company during the dot-com bubble, someone would buy you up because you might have some IP they could use. They incorporated the company and they wanted to buy up engineers so that they couldn't have them competing against whatever their company was doing. And his company got gobbled up into the entity that became PayPal. And then they made him CEO of PayPal because, he talked a good game. And from the moment he became CEO of PayPal, he's like, look, what we have to do is we have to delete everything and make a fresh new site. And the board's like, what? Well, we have a site that works. We're making money. It's like, no. We're going to start over. And they're like, what? And then people started like not being able to use the site. It wasn't loading. They're having all sorts of issues with money not going through, payments not happening, eBay not being able to like sync with PayPal, and they had all these compounding problems on the website. And after 2 months, it took 2 months of him being CEO at PayPal for the board to fire him, citing compounding problems on the website and having no business plan. And because he was a founder, because I had purchased his company, they gave him $100 million stock parachute, and he landed with that sucker, and then took that $100 million and did a hostile takeover of Tesla and declared himself the creator of Tesla and built that into like a $1 billion flim-flam scam. And then from this point forward, everyone thinks he's just such a brilliant genius. And he makes these giant promises and then never gets there. Like, wasn't the Cybertruck supposed to be released like 2 years ago? Doesn't look like they're gonna have production up this year, so maybe 2024. I don't know. And it's such a genius that no airbags and a marble dashboard. So in a car that's stainless steel, so there's no crumple zone. So the minute, I know some of you would get mad at me for saying that, but I think the entirety of the United States should default on their student debt. Everyone, every last person, every grandparent, every person in this country should be like, you know what? No, IRS, come fuck me over, and let's have a truly angry populace. Because if everybody defaults all at once, then that's how it goes. I bet internet's happening, isn't it? No data. Stream is freezing. Shoot, Ernest doing a show. Gotta let him know he's probably downloading another video game. What's 80 minutes? There we go. Okay. All right, and there goes pixelated Houston Max Headroom style. Cool. There's our internet. Yay. Oh, hey, I've got color, but I'm frozen. Okay. Okay. Go on that one. Pick. Oh, where'd it go? Something called Picklepotamus? Is that what it was? Picklepotamus. 3 explosions. Okay. KYP's here. Hello. Sis54. What does no successor for stalking horse bid mean for BBYQ? Another short trap? No successor for stalking horse bid. I think that means there's only one bidder. Because if there's a successor, there'll be a second one jumping in there. Is that what it means? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Lay that on me. Andrew Stewart, Houston, what are your thoughts on Eastbound and Down? You are the exact opposite of Kenny Powers in so many ways. I mean, I played with some true rednecks, not quite Kenny Powers style. I remember going to, I think it was a tryout with the Reds. So I'd gone out to Eastern Washington to Columbia River College, Columbia Valley College. Well, on Pasco or Kennewick, whatever. Actually, the nicest field I've ever seen. The grass was amazing. Apparently, the groundskeeper seeded it like twice a day, which I don't know how that's even affordable. But went to this tryout, and it was a small tryout. There's like 6 of us who were invited. And one guy was a rodeo rider. And the dude came, and to do pro tryouts, you have to be 23 years of age or younger. They will not accept you at a tryout if you are older than 23. They literally check your ID, and they're like, no, get the hell out of here. You'd be like, but I throw 100 miles an hour. They're like, don't care. You're too old. And there's a dude, he looked like he was about 70. And he was 22 years old. And for 4 years, he had been on the professional rodeo circuit. and he was trying out to be a catcher. And you know, he's an athletic dude, but he was like, yeah, my body's falling apart, broken like 25 bones. I just think like catching is better for me. But because he'd been a professional athlete, he, you know, put out on the wire, and they're like, come on down. He was decent, but he was definitely like, all he talked about was truck engines, like what you need to haul cattle and horses around. He'd be like, yeah, these rodeo guys in Texas for our no hills, they got these shitty little 302s in their truck, and they're hauling all their horses around. And then they get to Idaho and they can't make it up a hill. Like, oh, okay. There's another redneck at a Seattle Mariners tryout. This big hillbilly. I'd never seen somebody as strong as this guy. And he was just a fat, out of shape mountain of a man. And he was trying out for some fielding position. I was with the pitchers, but while warming up and doing tosses, this dude is doing long toss like it's nothing across an entire football field at the Everett Stadium where the Aqua Sox play. And he's throwing, I don't know, 110, 120 yards. Just easy as can be. And so one of the pitching coaches put a radar gun on him. And when he was like throwing, I think he's trying out for first base or something, and he was like doing first to third throws, and he was throwing like 97 to the third baseman. Just a monster. I have no idea what happened to him, but definitely looked like he had come out of a tractor pull and was just like all of a sudden like eating an entire rib roast, downing a 24-pack of beer, and then showed up to like throw baseballs. There are some just monsters that happen to be at some of those things. But in college ball, you get nerds. Not really nerds, but you get like, they're different than the people who show up to pro tryouts. College boys. But either Eastbound and Down's hilarious. Watch it. Oscar Bevelar, Dutch holder here. It's tomorrow over here. I can report no moas. Noted. We just got a message from the future. To Tremendous, Houston. Elon is second richest man according to Forbes. Ken Griffin is number 35. You think Ken has way more than that and hides wealth like Russian oligarchs? How here's Forbes list. My feeling is the Forbes list only has a fraction of the wealth that a lot of these folks have. That they offshore so much that we only see what the legit wealth is. Guys like Ken Griffin, I bet they've got offshore accounts that just dwarf anything held here in the U.S. That all their cash plays from their like selling naked short sales, I bet all of that goes into Cayman and Bahamian, and that there's just tens of billions, hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars. Like the numbers are thrown around about how much cash is offshored around the world by just the American rich. It's like $40 trillion. Okay, so we have, I don't know, 1,500 billionaires in the U.S.? How many billionaires in the U.S.? $770 billionaires in the U.S. And if those 770 billionaires and a whole bunch of 100 millionaires or whatever have offshored $40 trillion, right? Let's just put that sucker into the old calculator, shall we? We love our calculator around here. Where are you? There you are. Okay. 40 trillion, thousand, million, billion. Oops. Thousand, million, billion, trillion. $40 trillion. Word. Okay. We can divide that by 770. That puts the average offshored wealth at $51 billion. Almost $52 billion. That would seem to suggest that rich people have a lot more money than they claim. Right? I think Elon probably is 200 billion because I don't think he's smart enough to really offshore anything at this point. Because we saw him just blow $44 billion on an app that's worth far less than that. But others bankers especially, venture capital dudes, private equity guys, they're probably offshoring absolutely everything you can possibly imagine. And they have a lot of their plays are done through dummy corporations and stuff. Yeah, I would totally. We talked about the Honeypot holding company. It's been a while since we talked about Honeypot holding company, and I thought about it recently. Okay, so the idea of Honeypot holding, if you aren't familiar, is you create a company. You know, maybe a couple $1 million worth of stock options, real estate, just to make a little holdings company, own some things, and owns a couple of homes here, some dividend stocks there, whatever. And you create it, and then you it's a C corp, so you make some shares and you dump it on the OTC. So you dump, I don't know, 1 million shares in the OTC, sell them for $1 each. Right. And then as me, the owner of this company, I would hold on to a majority, 2 million shares or so, just to keep the math easy. And at the same time, I go over to like the Cayman Islands and I dump, I don't know, $10 million, $30 million, whatever, into a bank account over in the Caymans. Now, what happens is that account in the Caymans is going to wait for the hedge funds to start hammering that stock into the dirt, because the company itself, they won't do anything. They'll just sit there and make $50,000 a year in dividends. And then, you know, they'll fill a report, be like, hey, we have $3 million in holdings. We made $50,000 this year. We've got one employee. It's an accountant who's making this happen, right? Board of directors did not take any compensation. And they go, oh, this company's toast. And they're going to hammer it down to fractions of a penny. And you wait till that sucker is seller pegged. And you start buying it up. Or I, with my Cayman account, start buying it up like crazy. You know, a couple billion shares here, a couple billion shares there. You know, just buying up billions of shares that don't exist. Just buying and buying and buying and buying for a year or two. Just keep buying, keep buying, keep buying. And, you know, every once in a while I'll be putting some shares out there for exactly seller peg price. So they keep the price down there. But once this Cayman account has accumulated just a cajillion shares, then the CEO says, you know what? I'm going to take this company private. I'm going to offer a sale price of $10 a share. And I'll buy back all the shares for $10 million. And that's it. Well, the shorts and the market makers who created the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 billion shares of a company that only had 1 million in the float that's now sitting in this Cayman account has to do PIL of $10 for every single one of those shares. You can be looking at $30 billion that they have to pay just to buy that company. Or you can offer a dividend of $1. Like, oh, we're going to offer a dividend of $1 this quarter. You know, we sold a building, whatever. And all those dollars are going to have to go as PILs into that Cayman account out there. There's lots of ways you can hide cash and like fuck with people that way. So it's a post MOAS thing. I think I might want to try Honeypot Holdings LLC. Think about it. Okay. Belgian whale. Why can't everybody hey on Blue Sky? Use Blue Sky? You need people on your site, no? Blue Sky it's like a soft opening. I don't think they quite have the server space to handle the traffic that other sites have at the moment. So what they do is they give users one code for them, access code that they can give out every 2 weeks. So they can slowly build up user base while they test out bugs and kinks and things like that. So my friend Andy sent me a code this week. I got signed up, and I should get a code in about, 13 days, 12 days, somewhere around there. And then hopefully another one before the end of the month. When is Trader Tuesday this month? Trader Tuesday is the 25th. Ooh, might be cutting it close. But hopefully we'll get, I might only have one by then. Because it'll be, I should go on the 13th. It'll be probably the 27th, the second one. But maybe I can raffle off two. Just might be 3 days before I can send it. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. It's a soft opening. But I'll be honest, so far my feed on Blue Sky is hilarious. All the best ship posters are on there. Just the funniest people. And they're like, it's funny. Much more funny than Mastodon, way more funny than Post, and doesn't take itself as seriously as Spoutable does. So, that's why I like just a bunch of goofballs. Online entity rumor, Gary Gensler quit. Yeah, again, I'm not seeing any news about Gary Gensler quitting from anything other than those crypto sites that make shit up all the time. Andrew Stewart, Houston, what are hot cells and how do they leak out? You're asking about the leak at Hanford that happened. This construction hot cells are different. I'm not sure which one leaked at Hanford. Where's the... Come on. There we go. How to reactor spill. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, don't give me that crap. Statement Thursday, Department of Energy said the contamination in the soil at Hanford building 1,000 feet from the Columbia River and a mile north of Richland is much larger than previously identified. Now the Department of Energy is thinking the cleanup plan for the spill discovered 13 years ago, with work crews making preparations for excavation of the radioactive material over the past 6 years. The spill of cesium and strontium in the soil beneath the 324 building is radioactively hot that it would be lethal to a worker on direct contact within 2 minutes, Department of Energy said. Reactivity in the contaminated soil is measured 8,900 rad per hour. The plan has been to leave the 324 building standing to act as a barrier to prevent precipitation from reaching the underground contamination and driving it closer to the groundwater, which moves towards the Columbia River. Work began in 2017 to stabilize the building and the soil beneath it, so a remotely controlled excavator could be used within the building to dig up the highly contaminated soil beneath it. Now, the Department of Energy is considering a more costly and time-consuming cleanup plan that calls for tearing down the approximately 50-year-old building and building a containment superstructure over the waste site and then digging up the contaminated soil. Details of the new plan have not been worked out. Building 324 being used for research. 500 square mile, 300 acre. Tell me, where was the... It was scheduled to be demolished by a legal deadline of September 2015, but as preparations being made for the demolition in 2010, the spill beneath the building was discovered. In the 1980s, one of the building's 6 hot cells was being used to prepare concentrated reactive cesium and strontium from Hanford plutonium production waste for Germany to use in testing for a repository for radioactive waste. Hanford workers stood outside the hot cell and used controls to operate manipulators within the 30-foot hot cell with 5-foot thick walls as they watched through leaded glass windows. At the time of the work for Germany, the stainless steel liner on the floor of the hot cell was damaged, allowing concentrated high-level waste to leak into the soil beneath the building. The bottom of the cell is about 42 feet above groundwater. It's not very high above groundwater. Department of Energy planned to call the hot cell back into service to mount an excavator arm within it. The floor of the hot cell could be cut away with a remotely operated saw, and then the excavator would bring up contaminated soil through the hot cell. So hot cell it's a big concrete bunker, basically. So this one that said they have a leaded window, so their operator could control this machine to like move stuff around by watching through the window. It is essentially, you're going to take super toxic stuff, put it into this container. It's all lead lined, thick concrete, so that the radiation cannot escape. But it sounds like it was poorly made and had a stainless steel floor that cracked and then leaked into who knows where, into the ground, I guess, because they didn't have concrete below it or multiple linings. But that seems to be what the hot cells are. They're just containers for lots of gross, awful things. And Hanford, if you guys know about the story of Hanford, Hanford was one of the 2 main nuclear sites. You had Oak Ridge, Tennessee. You had Hanford. Hanford is producing plutonium and a lot of radioactive isotopes that we didn't really know what they could do at the time we're making them, or how long they'd last, or what the dangers of them were. It was really Wild West. Like, hey, we need plutonium because we theoretically can make a bomb out of plutonium. Cool, we'll make some plutonium. And all these other byproducts end up being made at the same time. And then we realized how terrible they were. We're like, oh shit, put them in something lead. But it was, 1940s, 1950s technology they're using. And shit happens. So some of the grossest, most awful nuclear waste you could ever imagine was created at Hanford as a byproduct of building, our entire nuclear weapon arsenal. They had a reactor, so they did have some power generation there. I think it's been idled by now. But now it's just a giant cleanup site. And I don't know, the bidding for the cleanup site happened a couple years ago. But every 5 or 10 years, the contract's up for the cleanup site. And I joked with my dad about bidding on it. Like, let's say Halliburton or something gets the contract for $5 billion to go and dig up everything. And let's say I just bid $4 billion and get the contract. Okay, cool. Now I got a giant government contract, and I'll sell that contract to Halliburton for $3.9 billion and go from there. Guitar stuff. Houston. I'm feeling you on the lawn work. Mowed all the field and yard yesterday. Pressure washed today. Getting ready for the 4th. Hell yeah, brother. I got the patio cleaned up. I got all the little grass clippings out of the lawn. I've got blackberries, at least on 2 sides of the house, all destroyed. I've got the driveway cleaned up. I got where I had like all my chunks of scrap wood that were leaned up against the garage. Those are nowhere to be seen, so that people aren't like, what is this place? The boat's gone. That is... the war rig's been rolled back into the unused parking spot where it can just sit and rot away until I can figure out what to do with it. And yeah, like, how you feeling about that? Noted. It's good. It's the summer of accomplishing things. I'm accomplishing things this summer, and it's glorious. And I am thoroughly, just absolutely covered in wounds all over my body. You can see them. Just, oh, it's too bright, but I'm just so many wounds on me. Deary, San Francisco, Houston. I grew up in Paulsbo. Now in San Francisco. Your blackberry experience reminds me of high school mowing hell. Are you on the peninsula? I am on Bainbridge Island, so I'm not on the peninsula. I am your closest neighbor out here on Bainbridge Island. Yogi, 2012, super bummed about the Twitter situation, which makes me more bummed realizing how much of my life I waste on Twitter. Ron Johnson, it appears someone published an article that Gary Gensler has resigned. Some people think it's an AI written story based on excessive use of commas and how it's written. Yeah, I bet it's bogus. That's what I bet. Andrew Stewart, 42 feet is bad, like bad. Oh, definitely bad. You don't want a slow leak of material like that into the Columbia River. That would just, it would annihilate everything downstream and then go out in the ocean. And solution to pollution is dilution, but you don't want to like dilute highly cancerous, incredibly radioactive material into, one of the largest salmon runs in the world. That just seems like a terrible idea. And like great sturgeon and guitar stuff. Got one of them funky coordinates for me. Let's go somewhere, shall we? Let's go there. We're still in Brazil, aren't we? Let's leave Brazil. Let's leave Jesus here, and we'll head to wherever this is. We're going up, slamming into this cliff here. Where are we? Capitol Reef? Where are we? This is Caro City. Kebab. We're in Arizona? We're in Arizona. Okay. Northern Arizona. We are at this cliff. That square of land. Vermilion Cliffs. Oh. They're good looking. Can we get a picture? Doesn't let me get a picture. We did a pretty good job with the slope on this one. Okay, our Vermilion Cliffs. Maybe we should go to the web. You. Okay, Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. Let's see here. Let's do images. Bing. Oh, that's where the wave is. Okay, so that's where the wave is. That's these guys. Sandstones. Beautiful sandstones. I've not been to the wave. I would like to go to the wave. Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. That's pretty cool looking. Not been there either. Bunch of cool spots. Very cool. Those look like it could be travertines maybe. Top of there. Pariah Canyon. Excellent. That's Navajo sandstone there. Some very pretty slot canyons, that's for sure. Okay, back to Google Earth. Let's see what else we can see around Vermilion Cliffs. All right, so we got some cliffs there, but like the wave and stuff, where's the wave? He's got some slot canyons here, canyons there, Red Cliffs Ranch. Make myself north. Do we have, if I take this guy, do we have any spots? Ooh, there's some spots down here. Take us anything? Oh, we're inside a house. I was not expecting that. Well, there we go. And I can't read that thing, so, okay. This room is getting really warm with the door closed. The wave. Wave trail, Kanab. Oh, way over here. Ah. Okay. There we go. The second wave. Well, that's pretty gorgeous. Monkey Foot, we're going to have to go there someday. How's that sound? You've only been to Arizona briefly. That was back before, right around when I destroyed the truck. So, we'll get there. We'll get there, buddy. That was a good hike. Good hike. Look at some weird rocks. Okay. Ted Tremendous, Houston. Any insights on France violence? Is it a thing? Does it mean anything or have repercussions to the rest of the world? Should other wealthy nation leaders take notes here? I mean, don't shoot your citizens and then lie about it. That should be the rule everyone should take at this point. Like, yeah, if you're an autocrat or a dictator and you control all the media and everything, you can do whatever you want. I get it. But if you're going to try and be a democracy, you can't like murder your citizens and then hide it. That just should be a no-no. That you should have integrity in law enforcement and not just straight up murder people based on what are probably racist ideals. So, don't murder your citizens. That should be the lesson taken out. Repercussions for France itself is Macron. If Macron wants to have any legacy whatsoever, he's going to have to deal with the police. He's going to have to make sure that the police are dealt with, and that something like that doesn't happen again, and they don't crack down on the citizens in a way that they're talking about. Like they're talking about like we're going to go out and start killing citizens. No, that's not how it should work. The police were wrong. What the police need to do is go, hey, we were wrong. The officers who killed that guy, they're going to prison, and we're going to take care of this. That is the only way to deal with the situation. Anything outside of that is the wrong way to deal with it. Guitar Stuff, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Remember to always take the large sum and get the compounding interest. Yeah. Bobby Bonilla has made so much money. I was reading about the ABA, American Basketball Association. They basically got bought out by the NBA, because they're a competition. And then they took a bunch of teams into the NBA. So they took in like the Nuggets, the Pacers. Who else was an ABA team? Monkey? I can't remember. But there was the St. Louis Spirits were a team. And the St. Louis Spirits, they did not join the NBA, but instead they agreed to a contract where they got something like a quarter of the TV revenue of the 4 teams who did join the NBA, which resulted in, I think, between 1970 and 1985 or 1990 was like $300 million in TV revenue. And then finally the NBA came and bought them out of their contract for another $500 million. So they made $800 million by never joining the NBA. So, sometimes those long-term contracts can really, really be worth it. Yeah, Bobby Bonilla. There's a couple of guys who designed contracts after Bobby Bonilla in a similar fashion, and just brilliant. I mean, Bobby Bonilla was a good baseball player. He was never as good as the amount of money he's made from the Mets, though. Just crazy. Look it up, everybody. Look up Bobby Bonilla Day. BJK 031 Houston. Feelings on the latest SCOTUS decisions where they allow yet another way for bigots to refuse service to LGBTQ people. Well, the thing is, it's going to bite them in the ass because it's going to allow businesses to refuse service to anybody for any reason. So, someone comes into a store wearing a MAGA hat, be like, I'm not going to serve you, so get out. Supreme Court says it can. Someone comes in wearing their VFW hat, like, hey, I'm a peacenik. I don't agree with the military. Get the hell out of here. So it's going to further a breakdown of society. And basically they're saying that you can make like a water fountain for undesirable people, and they're okay with that. Like separating things. It's just a stupid ruling based on a case that had no merit, and they went with it anyway. Expand the court. Put some competent people in there. Aaron Saltine, Houston. Did you read the file I sent you on Twitter? I sent it to you an hour ago. A filing on finger motion. Also 10,000 calls at closing on Friday appeared to 121 puts. Looks like the big boys are ready to squeeze Lind Capital. I did not. I saw that you sent something. I couldn't see it because Twitter's broken. So no. I saw it, but I didn't see it. But tell me what's in the filing. Yogi, it's late. Your brother's probably asleep. We should probably talk meta materials. No. Ron Johnson, Ted, didn't you see what happened in Minneapolis? We're ahead of France for this violence. Oh, yeah, we are way ahead of them. Aaron Saltine with 150 million shares naked short position. Yep. Anxiety Lord, it's rough being a dog. It is rough. It's rough, buddy. It's such a hard one. Having to sleep all day and then being so tired because you slept all day. You got to sleep all day again. Oh, it's so bad. I speak from experience because nothing in this world is more exhausting than a day at the beach. College, because I went to school in Hawaii, like, hey, let's go to the beach. So we drive the long ways over the other side of the island, get to the sandy beach, where we'd sleep all day. Just sleep for 10 hours in the sunshine and be more exhausted than I've ever been in my entire life. Absolutely just comatose. To the point where, like, okay, I got an hour and a half drive home. Got to make sure I don't kill everybody in my van and get home. And then I sleep for another like 12 hours. Nothing will suck it out of you more than the sun. We are the opposite of Superman in this case. Aaron Saltine. Filing came from Webull reporting, even though I can't find it from other sources. I'll have to look at the filing, whatever it might be. What's all this? Waffle? Your friends here from Wahoo. Hello. Money over Mayo in California. Gary in San Francisco. BBBYQ holder here. Ditto. Although I had to bounce around a bunch because I still have $1,200 stuck in trade up. Because hold it for 2 weeks. This is so. I'd heard the Tiger Tiger Trade, which is a Singapore app a lot of people in Australia and New Zealand and Japan use, you could buy BBYQ options. So the American equivalent of their app is called TradeUp. So I'm like, all right, we'll try it. So I threw a bunch of money in there, only to discover that they don't have OTC access in the US. So I'm like, hey, you guys said it had OTC access. I go click on it and it says, hey, we can't do that. Like, oh yeah, we don't have actual permission for American users yet. It's coming. I'm like, cool. The entire point I put money in here was because you had said it had OTC access, and I was going to buy some BBYQ options. It's like, yeah, we can't do that. I'm like, all right, so I'll transfer money back. So I transfer money back. It's like, cannot. And so I asked again, like, hey, I've got $1,200 in this account. Trying to get it out. Like, oh yeah, well, we've got a rule just to make sure there's like no weird money laundering stuff that you can't pull money out for 15 days. I'm like, interesting, because I took money from this account, put it into your account, and I want to put it back in my original account again. So there's no money laundering. Like, it just didn't work. I want my money back. And they're like, not for another 13 days. So 1-star review for TradeUp. Chad Tremendous Houston, why has the TikTok national defense issue thing died as the last few months? Why has Zuck not been visiting president anymore like he always did with Trump? Well, they did a bunch of hearings, the TikTok thing. My guess is that the Singapore guy who's in charge of TikTok did a good enough job at the hearing that everyone's like, well, we're not going to get anywhere with this showboating. And so, but just wait for some other thing that got distracted from. Maybe they'll pop up. Why has Zuck not been visiting as president anymore? Because Zuck doesn't work for this president. I mean, the amount of data that was stolen from Facebook and given to people affiliated with getting Trump elected was phenomenal. And that might show that maybe Zuck has got some preferences there. Gary, San Francisco, Federal Society gamed the system. They did. They really got their people on the court, that's for sure. And Ruth Bader Ginsburg didn't do anybody any favors by not retiring, and allowing Obama to appoint somebody. So that could have staved off this whole mess. Houston, my credit card has a clause in agreement stating I waived rights to sue them if I use the card in court or jury. How is this legal, and how do cards get away with murder? Waive rights to sue them if I use the card in court or jury. I don't know what that means. Like, use the card to buy a jury? Chad, get back to me on that one. Bo got smoked. Houston, don't forget the soccer coach that benched a girl for kneeling during the national anthem. Sad, also crybaby. Biden said, this is not a normal court. Thank God for that. I mean, it's not a normal court in that the justices are taking millions of dollars in gifts and bribes from people who then come before them in the court. Just Alito and Thomas alone, that should be enough to throw their asses in prison. They took bribes. They are getting bribes from billionaires who then have cases before them in the court and not recusing themselves. They're going on vacation with these people. They're doing Christmas vacations and crap with these people. They're allowing them to pay for their family members to go to college and pay for their private schools. One billionaire bought Clarence Thomas's mother's house from her and then lets her live in it for free. Like, that's bribery. Those are in-kind contributions. That's bribery, and definitely conflict of interest. And those justices should have definitely legally, morally, and ethically recused themselves from those cases. But no, they hid the gifts they got. They didn't report them. And then they lied about the conflict of interests. So, it's why it's not a normal court. It's definitely a court full of criminals doing crime stuff. So don't thank God for criminals doing crime stuff. They should have a bunch of angry French teenagers shooting them with fireworks right now. That's what should be the outcome of that kind of criming. Aaron Salentin, Houston, I think the Americans should, I think you said, protest like the French. They get shit done. They do. And every time I've been to France, there has been an insane protest with more people during some protest I didn't know was happening than we've ever had in the United States show up, ever. We're talking like 500,000 people. Spur of the moment, just like, oh, time to protest and break shit. And they just march through Paris, just pushing over trash cans and banging drums and stuff. And the next day, everything is back to normal. And whatever is they're protesting gets fixed. It's incredible. We need to do that more in the U.S. Ron Johnson. I've been reading more and more experts who told the Titan CEO not to use a sub. Since Elon doesn't listen to experts, can he board this next space flight to prove everyone wrong? Yes, please do, Elon. Elon, show us how great your new water-cooled steel slab at your Boca Chica launch site is by being the volunteer tester on your ship. By all means, show us how good it is. I would love to see it. Judge Tremendous Houston, has the greatest song been written yet? Do you think art truly has the power to unite humanity like the end of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Well, it must have, because a couple years ago, some scientists basically said that every single possible chord progression has been done and that we're just repeating ourselves at this point. So my guess is the best song ever written has been written. We just may disagree as to either what that is, or maybe it's an unknown little ditty that didn't get the airtime it needed because they weren't doing payola scams on it or something. I don't know. But, or perhaps the song to end the Metalocalypse, which I have not seen the movie yet, is the best song ever written. So maybe Brendan Smalls whipped out the Bill and Ted song for us right there at the end. Judge Tremendous Houston. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Ron Johnson. Did you hear Wes Christian said there were over 1 trillion failed delivers in U.S. stocks? Did I hear that right? Well, you got 1 trillion failed delivers. Let's say the average is $1. That's $1 trillion, right? Because you got a whole bunch of OTC stocks really cheap. You have a bunch of blue chips really expensive. Meet them in the middle. Let's say it's $1 per stock. So there's $1 trillion of liability that essentially is a scam. That sounds about right. Judge Tremendous Houston, this is a public service announcement. I saw Indy 5 and it was truly awful. For all the concerned, please don't watch. DH Indy CGI had googly eyes. Happy 4th. Yeah, Scott, my old roommate who made our intros and stuff, he said it was absolutely terrible. He's like, don't trust the reviews. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Man, why they gotta ruin stuff? Miss Missy, regulations, mass deregged insurance about a decade ago, and our policies went through the roof. I owned a driving school at the time and was making 2 mortgage payments in insurance premiums alone. See, in the insurance companies, they make so much money. Holy crap. You want to look at dividend stocks, insurance companies of all kinds, whether it's health insurance, auto insurance, homeowners insurance, you name it. They make so much money and their dividends are insane. So yeah, clip their wings a little bit. Bring it down. I don't care about stockholders of an insurance company getting their money. I care about the people who paid for an insurance plan, getting the health care that they were promised, or the home that needs to be rebuilt. That's what I care about. Make all insurance companies nonprofits. Just no more shareholders. They are now a nonprofit, tax deductible organization or whatever. Ron Johnson, happy birthday. With all the farmers having water issues, many are getting out of farming and into the music industry because they have sick beats. God damn it. KYP, Cornel West, is a smart nut. He's a very smart nut. And he was in the Matrix. So, how many presidential candidates can say that? Thomas Goodworth, I love the part of the student loan case where ACB told Missouri lawyers they had no standing and then ruled in their favor. Yeah. Oh, you have no standing. Then throw the case out, dummy. That's the precedent. Bo got smoked. Bo got smoked. The officer protected himself when the kid with the stolen car tried running him over. Since then, 3 officers have been murdered and many whites attacked. That's not what the video... That's what the officers claimed happened. And then the video showed otherwise. Aaron, some info on finger... Miss Missy Klitschy, I have a black friend who's a prof, teaches English, University of Paris, Sorbonne. I worry so much about her. Jinja Ninja, I got a good chance to buy 25 acres for a decent price in a developing area. I heard land doesn't crash in a recession. Am I stupid for considering this or not? It's $220K and I'm debt free. I mean, it depends on where you are. It depends on what the zoning is for it. It depends on how easy it is to get access to utilities, sewer. Are you allowed to? Is it allowed to perk for septic? There's a lot of things in there. If it's selling for $220 now, it might sell for significantly cheaper a year from now if everything crashes. The thing about buying land and like why just chunk of land is a good long-term investment is because if you buy a house right now, the value of the house is going to crash really hard, which means the rent is going to go down. You might not make your mortgage payments. It might get foreclosed on, whatever. Meth heads may come in there and squat or take all your copper wiring. Like, there's a lot of damage that can be done to a house and make it worth way less than we paid for it. Whereas chunk of land, it's going to be that way for a long time. So chunk of land's a good way to set it and forget it. But buying anything right now, I mean, tell me where it is. That might help. Excuse me, yawning. Peachy Sunday, happy birthday, Houston. Banks are supposed to be dead, and yet my put options on banks all went to zero, and S&P has been steadily climbing since March 1st. But if I start buying calls, recession starts. That's what you shall do for us, Peachy. You be the Messiah. You sacrifice yourself for the rest of us. Crispy Chicken, good evening, folks. I came in smashing like button. Who will join me? Join away. Miss Missy, I had a Newfie puppy. He had web paws. Must be a Canadian thing. It's that water dog thing. So that monkey butt hates the water, but man, she's a fast swimmer. I took her on a boat, put her in the water, and she swam to shore faster than I could probably run that distance, and then ran to the hills and hid. She was like, no, I will not be a water dog. This is the worst thing in the entire world. It's in your heritage. Probably the whippet in her, because she's part whippet. I bet those dogs don't like water or something, and she just, it's too strong. You're not a water dog, even though you're supposed to be, dummy. Yeah, don't give me the side eye. Mike, live on the 4th of July. If I do a live on the 4th of July, it's going to be of the 4th of July, my barbecue. Where, I'm not sure how many people come at one point, but throughout the day, from like 4 p.m. until maybe 4 in the morning, I'll have several hundred people swing on by, play in the bounce house, eat burgers, sip on some suds, roast marshmallows on the bonfire, chat it up. It's my favorite day of the year. My absolute favorite day of the year. I love the 4th of July. Celebrate myself some Merca, do a pancake breakfast, play in the 4th of July baseball game. I get to watch a parade, get to eat all sorts of crazy food I don't get to eat normally because there's awesome like little vendors. I get to see everybody, get to pet a lot of dogs. It's just my favorite day of the year. And then there's fireworks, and you just can't beat that. Ron Johnson, of all the inventions I've seen in my 50 years, the dry erase board has to be up there. It's remarkable. God damn it. Jason Blackwell, what have you done? Pen name. If we get a hold of Blue Sheets, we still have to search through thousands of documents and boxes. Oh, yeah. Blue Sheets will just show us, a little bit of what's behind the curtain. All the trade sheets, everything for each day, for every single solitary market maker, broker, hedge fund, it's going to be a lot. Because you're going to have to look at, like, this guy traded this many shares at this point, and then he traded this many shares at this point, and they did this many shares, and you're going to do that for a couple hundred organizations. It will add up, man. And then they'll send you stuff that has nothing to do with what you're suing about. They'll send you, like, their kids' 5th grade reading assignments and crap. And you got to, like, go through all that stuff and figure out what is useful and what isn't. And you got to hire, organizers for the case to, like, digitize everything and make these giant databases full of, like, just terabytes of JPEGs. And they got to put proper keywords in there. And it is a lot to go through something like that. It's going to cost a fortune. Red-Eye Jedi, what's the 411 on BBBYQ? Apparently somebody's getting bye-bye baby. We just don't know really who. There's a company, I can't remember the name of it. No one's ever heard of them. And it's probably a shell corporation, would be my guess. That's perhaps, I don't know, owned by a group of others that we may know about. But it sounds like they want to leave bankruptcy. And I'm not sure what they're going to do. All the intellectual property's gone, so I assume they're going to change their name, maintain their network, and go operate under a new name. Be like, Bed Bath & Beyond is now Home Store or something. Aaron Salentine, Finger Moas time. 250, here we come. Space Monkey. Well, if it isn't my favorite extreme left-wing podcaster, long-time listener since day one, many-time texter. Happy unbirthday, my friend Houston. Still rocking your stickers. Thank you for those again. I do have, speaking of stickers, I do have one left. It's the crappy one. It's the one that's got the sticky stuff on the outside, but I have one sticker left. And whoever sends me a self-addressed stamped envelope first gets the crappy sticker for free. Whoever comes in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever, gets Valpak coupons in return. They'll be completely useless to you, but it'll be a reminder that you didn't act fast enough to get the last free Houston have a problem sticker. I've got one left, and it's a terrible one, but you know what? It's the last one. It's the only one like it, so it's unique. So in the P.O. box down below, get it. Speaking of which, a letter came. What did I do with it? I never opened it. Is it still in the car, Monkey? Someone sent me a letter. It looked like I had maybe a pin in it. I think I may have left it in the car. Anyway, so yeah, if you want the last sticker, get that P.O. box in there, send me a self-addressed stamp envelope, it'll be yours. Or it won't, and you'll get a Valpak coupon for, I don't know, a knitting store that's in Bremerton or something. Okay. PG Sunday, it should be cheaper now to do a class action to read all those documents, scan it, upload it to ChatGPT, and let it decipher it for you, right? If you want to trust them to do that. Okay. Where am I looking? I just lost my spot. Sorry. And I'm an Elon fangirl. Professor Wade just dissed my imaginary hero. I did. Mike, come on, give him credit. Worldwide Internet and the best ev. Elon's watching. Houston, we have a problem. We do. Benedict, talk bad about Elon and we take away your internet, peasant. That's true. That's what they do. And all of a sudden I go gray again and become Max Headroom digital style. We should take screenshots of when I go gray. print them out onto like canvas and do like an art installation of Gray Houston, the whole matrix of them. I think that'd be pretty cool. Space Monkey, without going crazy, because you do, please explain to me your thoughts on this Hunter Biden text thing. I don't know about a Hunter Biden text thing, so I don't know what my thoughts would be. So I have to look that up and then read about it. But I don't know about a Hunter Biden text thing. It's Missy. Knock, knock. He'll get these in a half hour or so. It is... you're wrong. 54 minutes or so. Okay. And I gotta go back 54 minutes again because just reset. Where am I? There it is. Okay. That's what Jason gets for not looking up my joke. Pixels. Did I not see your joke, Jason Blackwell? I missed a Jason Blackwell terrible, terrible joke. Where is it? I don't see one. I don't see one. I have it under live chat, so you weren't like deleted or anything. Christopher Stedman, BBBYQ, what is the most important date? 7/7 or 7/11 or I've not been looking at dates, so we go Kroll, structuring, yeah. Let's see here. What dates are happening? I don't know. Docket info. Oh, that's still Google Earth. Different notice. Phase 2 lease. Potential lease sales hearing extension dates, deadlines related. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Ugh, I don't want to download things. Service related document. Professor blah, 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 blah. Monthly statement 4. Notice assumption of certain expired leases. Stipulation, abandonment of certain personal property, related document in lieu of motion, blah, 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 blah. Stipulation, order granting. I don't know what's happening on the 11th, or what was the other date you had there? 7. I don't know. I haven't seen a calendar this week. I'm not seeing one on this first page here. But man, they file stuff constantly. Weekends, weekdays, all hours of the night. They're just filing. Next. I don't know what's happening on those days. Sorry. It's too late. My brain can't process papers right now. So we'll get a nighttime show, and I've just been like had all the energy sucked out of me by the sunshine today. Okay. Daphne, corporate agriculture and oil companies get subsidized by us, the taxpayers. Where's your outrage there? That's true. Is Party City really dead? Party City always dies, right? Don't they pick up again in like September? Space Monkey, love you and love your show, Houston. Happy birthday again. Thank you. And just Stuart, Houston, I love the baseball and bartending stories. There's a lot of them. Greg2124, if I were to dig in eastern Iowa, that kind of jewels or gems could I find? Eastern Iowa? Cow pies? Let's look. Let's look what's in eastern Iowa. Mindat.org, Iowa. Bet there's some big salt mines or something in Iowa. It's got geodes. There you go. Excellent geodes. Eastern Iowa. Let's zoom in here. What we got? What are you? Little Sioux River, Cherokee, Iowa. Do we have any mines over here? Howden, Iowa. Oop, what do you got? Little Sioux River. Okay, so we'll click on Little Sioux River, Cherokee Indian Reservation. One valid mineral above mineral list. Gold. Really? There's gold in eastern Iowa? I wonder if it's alluvial. I'd never heard of gold being in eastern Iowa. But Cherokee County, Little Sioux River, Cherokee County, apparently there's some gold that's been found there. What else we got in eastern Iowa? I'm going to click on this guy. See what's in Westfield, Plymouth County. Ooh, got a lot of little mining guys here. Okay. We've got gypsum. Oh, just a whole bunch of gypsum mines. Well, you can find gypsum there. Noted. What else in eastern Iowa? Oh, I'm looking at western Iowa. Duh, not eastern Iowa. Duh, I'm looking on the wrong side of the state. Let's go eastern. Okay. What do you got? 4-county quarry. Don't care about quarries. Indian mines. Really? Okay. What do you got here? What's Indian mines? Indian mines was Glenna and Dolomite. Noted. Okay. Do we have any other similars? Must be Dolomite in these guys too. Don't produce, no interest listed, but they've, oh, it's a quartz mine. All right, so a quarry, that's why. Okay, so let's see what else they got in eastern Iowa. How about here? What we got here? We got you. That's a quarry. Don't care about quarries. Okay. Why is there a state of Washington there? Shelburne area, Benton County, Iowa. But there's Benton County, Washington, so maybe that's why they put a little Washington there. You a quarry? Quarry. What about you? Central Lynn. They're probably a quarry. Baldwin Mines. All right, what do you got for me, Baldwin? Baldwin. Dolomite, Glenna, Limonite, Smithsonite, Marcassite. Okay. So basically we got a whole bunch of evaporates and stuff from shallow seas. What about you? Harper Ferry's Diggings. That's probably a quarry. Ilcator Mine. What do you got? Gypsum, Dolomite, Smithsonite. Yeah, looks like you're just going to be getting Dolomite. Probably means there's geodes in those Dolomites, though. Of the minerals to be found. List of exploitable minerals, commodities in this region. Aggregates, so lots of quarries. Barytes, clay, coal, copper. Some copper, huh. Fluorite, fossil specimens, gemstones, gypsum, anhydrite, some iron, some lead, some mineral specimens, ferrolite, potash, sand, and gravel. Zinc. But you can find anything cool, anything cool, anything cool, anything cool, anything cool. Apatite's pretty cool. There's some pretty ones of those. Azurite's pretty cool. We get azurite there? You get azurite in Iowa? Okay. I can only get azurite in Chile or in Afghanistan. But they have in Iowa? Well, that's cool. Okay. Anything cool, anything cool, anything cool, anything cool. Diamonds. What? Where can you find diamonds in Iowa? I have not heard this. Apparently. Where'd that go? Diamond. Dubuque County, Iowa. Glacial deposit. So glacial, so diamonds found, green diamond. Believe valid. Okay. Oh, survey, geological survey. So might be micro diamonds maybe found in glacial till. But yeah, apparently you got diamonds in Iowa. What else we got? Hematite, horns blend, zircons are neat. Ternite, sulfur, spinel. Spinel? What? Homestead meteorite, Iowa County, Iowa. So spinel on a meteorite? Big minerals, stony meteorites. Huh. Okay, so you got meteorites. Siterites, serpentine subgroup, rutile, smoky quartz, jasper, citrine, amethyst. Various amethysts. You get some amethysts? Lee County, Iowa. Get some amethyst. Carnelian, tourmaline, opals. What? I bet the opals are probably from Yellowstone ash deposits. Found many stones such as quartz, amethyst, tourmaline, beryl, topaz, spudamite. Huh. Interesting. Purple and lavender amethyst crystals. Line cavity. Which mine is that in? Jim Hunter's Guide, First Nerd Company. All right. So you got some stuff there. Look up this guy. If you want to look at Iowa, you look at some of these. Ochre, Others. But they don't have opal listed here, even though it said they could find some. Maze oxides. Can I just write? Well, find me a glacial alluvial green diamond, and I'll be stoked. That's what Houston wants you to get. Okay. Andrew Stewart definitely going to go to Casa Bonita when it reopens. Yeah, apparently Casa Bonita is doing away with tipped wages, making everybody $30 an hour minimum. And I didn't know Casa Bonita had been bought by Trey Parker and Matt Stone from South Park, but that's hilarious. Beaver brand, I'm minding my own business here, and somewhere a sack of spiders is open. I'm getting tickled all over by baby spiders. Ew. Are you camping? Feels like it. Tell Garner, let me hold $1. Time to call Terminex baby spiders. All right. Daphne Gardner's been spilling some fighting words lately. It's awesome. I don't know if he's going to get yelled at or if they gave him permission to, but he apparently has been. Devastator, Omega, anyone moved to Blue Sky yet? Signed up for waitlist. I was on the waitlist forever, never got a code, and then my friend sent me one. Daphne says, went plenty of times with the girls when we were younger, but the food sucked except for the sopapillas. I've never been. All I've ever seen is South Park references to it. So I've never been to Casa Bonita. But I will go someday just to say that I've been and then have some sucky food. Crispy Chicken, is Gardner Wade as handsome as Professor Wade? No, I'm way more handsome than Gardner. I'm way more handsome. Gardner's goofier than I am. Okay. Gardner looks like what Houston looks like if he's a professional boxer and the hits cause permanent swelling. Gardner, I hope you're awake for this one. Aaron Southampton, Houston, did you see what Wes Christian said about is the mother of all mother load of all naked shares bigger than AMC and GME combined? So is the real MOS? We can hope, right? But if they want to do themselves some favors, I would suggest a company I can't mention to sell some products. Daphne, they poured millions into it and brought a Michelin chef. I think so. That'll be really interesting. So high divers and Michelin chef. Okay, let's do it. Abraham Barker, Houston, happy birthday. How did they get No Labs back to $1? Well, it was above $1 for quite some time, and then they shot it down and bounced back up again. But they've got nothing but good news. They've got their prototypes being built. They can do human testing with the device. They'll get certified by the FDA at some point. So that is all they need. Once it gets that FDA approval as a medical device, then insurers can start paying for it. People can stop pricking their fingers or having these holes jabbed in their body permanently. And then they start just making an incredible amount of money. Ginger Ninja, Houston. I've got a chance to buy 25. Oh, the 25 acres one. Okay. MT, yo, Houston. Yo, MT. Daphne, house 2 doors down, caught on fire. Our street had 5 fire trucks. Paramedics, police closed our street to traffic. Glad no one was hurt. Live on a quiet street. Too much excitement. 2 days ago, Thursday morning, there was a fire block and a half from me, and a 93-year-old man was found dead. So, bummer. The last time we had a fire was also an elderly man was found dead in an apartment building in downtown Bainbridge. Man, heard all the sirens. It ended up being from like multiple communities sent fire trucks, and they got it out, but found that guy. It was just sad. It was sad. You make loud slurping sounds when you lick yourself, monkey. Devastator Omega. Hey, I'm using new terminology when stating that I broke or messed up something. For example, I sure twittered that cake and burned it, or I Elon the heck out of that situation. I'm sure to get fired. Oh. If you Elon'd and ocean gated something, then you really, really, truly fucked up. Won't kill Houston to see the same question twice. Jinja, my second one, pretty much asking the same thing, but I don't see the first time I asked it anymore. Elon as a verb. Where are we? I'm catching up. I'm only 44 minutes behind. Whew. With 11 minutes to go. Okay. All right, people having conversations, scrolling past those. BW brand tomorrow is going to be 97 and 65% humidity or more. I nearly melted at 3 p.m. when it was 91. So tomorrow I may just go to Walmart and sit on a bench for 4 hours. I mean, that's like double features the movie theater. Get nice air conditioning sitting there in the dark. That's always good. That's those like power brownouts because no one can handle all much air conditioning everyone's using. I was reading that Texas has so much wind and solar during this heat dome that they don't have the capacity to absorb all the energy. So that people are still having problem powering their air conditioners because they can't get the energy from the solar and wind to people's homes. Texas. Dude, just attach yourselves to the rest of the country's grids. How hard is that? There should be a federal law that requires Texas to attach themselves to the rest of the nation's grids so that the stupid shit doesn't keep happening. When are they going to learn, man? Video brand, Houston, I'm using new terminology. Oh, did that one. No, sorry, went past there. Quantum Chore regarding Honeypot. 1, load up on the company with a lot of debt and then negative cash flow to make it attractive. Shorts don't attack companies with positive cash flow. They want an ugly fish. That too. You can do that also. Just over leverage yourself and then offer to buy the company at $10 a share. Dr. Trimbath would be a great head of the SEC. Yes. Or Elizabeth Warren would be good for the SEC. Miss Missy Houston. I'm well aware of the government's stupidity knows no bounds, but I was watching a docu this last night exposing my geekiness, but why? Okay, this looks like Midwest, maybe? A little further east. Where are we going? Google Earth. Google Earth. Google Earth. Bam, bam, bam. Why? Let's find out why. Where are we going? I'm really sick of spinning, lots of spinning. Bam. We are here at Superconducting Super Collider. Okay. That looks like that might be the Superconducting Super Collider there. Superconducting Super Collider, nicknamed Desertron, was a particle accelerator complex under construction in the vicinity of Washington. Oh, this is the one that was like 2 miles, and they stopped construction. Yeah, you can like see the tunnels that like went under the city. Yeah, it's like huge, and it would have been bigger than CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. And we spent hundreds of millions of dollars digging the tunnels and then never finished it because I think Reagan cut the budget for it, if I remember correctly. So let's see here. Full article. Ring circumference was 87.1 kilometers, 54.1 miles, with an energy of 20 tera electron volts per proton. It was designed to be the world's largest and most energetic particle accelerator. The laboratory director was Roy Schwitters, physicist at the University of Texas Austin, Department of Energy, proposal and development. Early 83, they started building. When did they cut the budget for it? 17 shafts were sunk, 23.5 kilometers. Tunnels were bored by late 1993. During the design and construction, Congress was told the project could be completed for $4.4 billion to gain enthusiastic support of Jim Wright, Fort Worth, Texas. Recurring argument was the contrast to NASA's contribution to the International Space Station, a similar dollar amount. Critics of the project, congressmen representing other U.S. states and scientists working non-SSSC fields who felt the money would be better spent on their own fields, arguing that the U.S. could not afford both of them. So this is a map of how big it was going to be. Just huge. Congress began appropriating in 92, was opposed by a majority of the House representatives, but was included in the final reconciliated budget due to support Senate. Okay. Early 93, a group supported by funds, private contractors organized a public relations campaign to lobby Congress directly in support of the project. The report $630 million overrun was the $1.5 billion construction project. And 1993, President Clinton tried to prevent the cancellation by asking Congress to continue to support the important and challenging effort through completion, because banning the SSC at this point would signal the United States as compromising its position and leadership in basic science. Cancellation. After $2 billion had been spent, $400 million by the host state of Texas, the rest by the Department of Energy, House representatives rejected funding October 19th, 1993, and the Senate negotiators failed to restore it. Following Jim Slattery's successful orchestration in the House, President Clinton signed a bill that finally canceled the project, October 93, stating regret at the serious loss for science. Man. CERN, this thing would have been so big that CERN never would have been built. It would have done everything CERN did with the Large Hadron Collider, and we would have been the ones who discovered the Higgs boson and probably created a black hole and whatever. It is a total bummer that we didn't spend the money on this thing. Now we think 4.4 billion, that'd be like farting into the wind. Like, who cares? 4.4 billion, spit on that. And man, it would have been so awesome to have our own giant super collider. Yeah, why? TKK, good morning from Denmark. Good morning from not Denmark. We're after evening, night. 4 more minutes until it's morning here. Bo got smoked. Criming is appointing a SCOTUS judge based solely on race and gender. Also, where were the protests after all the terrorist attacks in France to remove those who refused to assimilate? So Criming is appointing a SCOTUS judge based solely on race and gender. So you mean 95% of the judges for the last 240 years, then? Who were all appointed based solely on the fact they were white and male. Meanwhile, Judge Jackson is the most experienced justice the court has had in probably 50 years. So assuming that she's not qualified, I think, is a sore understatement, especially considering like the previous nominee who was appointed because he was black, which was Judge Thomas. A, had never been a judge, and B, had never tried a case in court. So if you want to talk about people who are unqualified and qualified, Ketanji Brown Jackson is the most qualified justice we've had appointed to the court, probably in your lifetime, and definitely in my lifetime. I mean, Amy Coney Barrett never tried a case in court. She's a justice. So, I would like to have judges who have court experience be appointed. But Amy Coney Barrett was appointed solely based on the fact that she was a woman and anti-abortion. So, beyond that, she was a terrible lawyer with very little experience, who is a member of a cult, who Handmaid's Tale was written about. So, I would think that she is sorely unqualified and was appointed for dubious reasons. So there you go. But Brand, reading a little about this Twitter thing, very funny. So this will cause people to make multiple accounts to read more, or like show on Twitter, I reports their user base is growing. That might be an outcome, or everyone uses different apps that don't have as many problems. Raven, what's up, Houston? The opposite of down. Que pasa, amigo? BN E2. Video RAM insurance went up 80%. I paid, then went out and found another agent. Same insurance being sold, better coverage at a lower cost than it originally was before the rate went up. There you go. Guess that 27 years of loyalty means nothing when your rate goes up 80%. Yeah. Daphne, so far your housing predictions are off, at least in the Denver metro and Bay Area. Price is going up again. ¿Por qué? Why? Why? How? I bet everyone is buying with cash, and they're not buying using mortgages. Or the market is so limited in houses available because everyone knows it'll be hard to sell if the market gets flooded. Was a buyer's only market for a very short time, and that is a shifting again to seller's market here in the Bay Area. Just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Benjamin Ham, I asked you a long time ago for a sticker. Well, you gotta send me a self-addressed stamped envelope. That's the only way I can get a sticker to you. The self-addressed stamped envelope. Squamps, oh shit, I'm up for Houston After Dark. 4th of July sounds like a party, but way bigger. Funnier and neater. Neat. 4th of July is fantastic. I love the 4th of July. I love grilling burgers for like 10 hours for all my friends and family, and my eyes just burning out of my skull, and just how happy everyone is, and all the little kids running around, slip and slide, and water ballooning each other, and bouncing around the bounce house. It's just the best day. It's the best day there is. Oh. Everyone turns into a pumpkin at 9 p.m. Millie, our friends for holidays. That happens too. Okay. I got, I'm not going to get to them all. My brain is not able to process things. Owen Saunders, morning, pal. How long do you think we have to get paid for a BBBBY stock? I've got a few plays. Jimmy Manabat, MMTLP, and BBBBB. I'm waiting for my payouts. Seems like I'm waiting forever. Me too. Some of them just don't pay out, like be big. Yeah. How long are we waiting? I don't know. I'm thinking before August is my gut feeling, but courts do court things. I don't know how long it's going to take them to be restructured out of bankruptcy. Not a clue. Wait, today, Houston, my several generations ago grandfather played professional baseball before the MLB. He played for the Hughes Tool Company. I have one of his bats with his name signature in the barrel. That sounds awesome. I have no idea where the Hughes Tool Company played, but that sounds like something that should be like in Cooperstown. Something like that's rad. Oh wait, today. Okay. Space Monkey, peace out, my friend. Live long and prosper. Yeah, I'm tired. So, recap. No regular shows Monday or Tuesday. I got shit to do. I will see if I can set up a live feed for the charity baseball game on Monday. It'll be at noon Pacific time. Probably just be my phone set up in the dugout or something, trying to get as wide a view of the field as I can. Who you watch, whatever. And then perhaps I'll set up a live cam for the 4th of July, and you can just eavesdrop on people milling about at a party, and toast everyone as they join. All right, Monkey Butt and I. Yeah, it's you. I checked. What we should do though, Monkey, because you're such a tired dog today. Yeah. Oh, maybe some of this, and then we'll shuffle along. It's a bunch of broken pieces down here, so we'll give you some broken bits. Oh, I stretch it out. We're gonna do a good stretch. Okay. All right, you ready? Come get it. Come get it. Yeah, come get it. Oh, let me get it from you. Is that good? Go one more. One more. There you go. How about this little one right in the cam there? Just get it. Oh, there you are. All right, buddy. That's a good one to end it on. All right, everybody. I'll catch you some point this week. Enjoy the 4th. Have a great time. Don't lose any limbs. If you're in France, don't die. And catch you on the flip side.